Hello everybody, it's Darkstrider the YouTube Assassin, and as you can see from the title and the thumbnail, this is not clickbait. I truly believe that the male person we're going to play as in Assassin's Creed Odyssey is going to be Darius from the Assassin's Creed tomb in Assassin's Creed 2. Now, what brought this to my attention was the other day when I was making a video and I was showing you the contents of Layla's computer. For some reason, I never noticed this on the side over here. Now, we do know that, like, over here, you do see a little Moogle because of the Final Fantasy crossover with Assassin's Creed. And I don't know why I never noticed before, and I actually went back to a couple of my videos just to look. There was a cactuar, as you could see, sitting on the desk, and you could interact with it, but she makes no mention of the cactuar. Listen to what she says.
How did you get your blade, Aya?
Now, that was a question that I had many, many, many moons ago. How did she get the blade? She says Cleopatra gave her the blade, she got it from somewhere else, and she gives it to Bayek. But what do we know about the blade? And this actually goes back to me wondering if Odyssey was going to be a compilation of things that they left out for Assassin's Creed Origins. Were they going to take a bunch of ideas and things that they were going to put into Origins, like the origin of the blade, and how were they going to fit that in? Well, let me show you. Now, in Assassin's Creed 2, you come into this little tomb, which has a bunch of seals that you have to collect. You collect the seals and you get the armor of Altair, which Ezio right now is wearing. Now, in this tomb, there are statues to many of the previous assassins, and, you know, it's just a place of worship to them. Now, one of the assassins is right over here, Darius, and when we examine it, we get the nifty little blurb here that atop this pedestal stands a statue of Darius, the male Persian assassin. He used his hidden blade to kill Xerxes. This was the first recorded use of the hidden blade. Now, what does that mean and what does that have to do with Odyssey? Well, I'll tell you. First of all, like I was saying, or like this says, it is the first recorded use of the hidden blade. And Assassin's Creed Odyssey is going to be taking place in the past. There was rumor that it was supposed to take place 100 years after the events of Origins or 100 years before the events of Origins. And as, you know, we started looking into history, we see it takes place before, and we're going so far as 400. So this may take place a little over 400 years ago, because Xerxes, if you ever watched the movie 300, he was the really flashy, golded up guy that actually wanted the Spartans to submit. Okay? And at that time, there was a lot of beef between Greece, the Spartans, and Xerxes of the Persians. Now, he was known as Xerxes the Great. All right? He lived from 519 BCE to 465 BCE, which that puts us into a nice little time frame for the Odyssey game. Okay, he ruled in 486 BCE until he was assassinated, and this is actual historical fact. He was assassinated in 465 BCE, but it was by his royal bodyguard Atanabis. Okay, now, I mean, we know how Assassin's Creed alters certain things. Cleopatra supposedly killed herself, yet over here, when we look at Aya's tomb, it actually says that she was responsible for murdering her with a snake. So, you know, they could, you know, just work that into the mythos for the Assassin's Creed game. Xerxes is most known for his failed invasion of Greece in 480 BC. Okay, the movie 300, like that time frame, also took place in 480 BC. So we may see that in this new game, Xerxes is the main antagonist, and he's making a move against the Greek after having already conquered the Spartans, just like in the movies. Like the movies were side by side, and spoiler alert, if you saw the first movie, obviously all the Spartans died. If you saw the second movie, it involved the Greeks, and the Greeks whooped on the Xerxes. Okay? So this could easily be turned around where Darius is the assassin instead of Artanibus, especially since he actually was assassinated in once again 465 BCE. Okay, and if you guys are confused about the timeline, everything prior to 1 AD goes in reverse. So not that this is an accurate number, but let's say 50 million BCE, it goes in reverse in descending order till you get to like 1 AD, and then it goes forward from there. Right now we're in like 2018, obviously, so that's how the numeric system of time goes, in case you didn't know why I'm talking about 519 BCE to 465 BCE. That's how that time frame works, just in case you didn't know. I'm sure most of you do. But that would actually place Darius over here as the main protagonist, or as the male version of the protagonist. I don't know who they would have as the female, and the fact that she's not in this tomb can easily be explained away. There could have been many things that have happened, not to say that she wasn't as important as Darius if they are indeed both assassins, but it will let us know. It could easily be explained later on. So I'm not concerned why that's not there. I'm not concerned that that's like a timeline breaker. But this actually gives us a lot to play with here, because this could be what was going on. This could be the time period that we partake in the Assassin's Creed Odyssey game. Now, I know it says that he's Persian. It could be that, he was Persian living among the Greeks. He was living as a Greek. We'll see what happens, when they start, giving us more on the game. But, that's my 2 cents on this. I do believe that this is the person and the time period that we're going to get into in Assassin's Creed Odyssey. Now, I know that that's going to cause a lot of contention, because some people, especially on YouTube, like a lot of YouTubers, we are all like, okay, wait, Ubisoft told us that Origins was supposed to be the very beginning. And some people actually believe, hey, wait, Origins is the beginning. Bayek and Aya created the Brotherhood. What the heck is going on? Why do we have this now broken timeline where there are people in the past? And now I brought a video out where I was questioning that, and a lot of you who are like just on the ball, you open for debate and you let it be known, hey, look, it doesn't have to be that these guys were actual assassins, part of the Brotherhood. These could have been spiritual ancestors, people who were worshipped as assassins because they had the same ideals and everything as the actual assassins that were formed in the Brotherhood. Maybe some assassins were just freelance and some assassins were, actually organized. It's not uncommon for 2 different groups or 2 different people to have a same ideology. You'll go and you'll watch TV, and you'll see on TV a commercial and somebody invented something, and you're like, holy crap, I freaking thought of that like 2 years ago. But obviously you didn't do anything about it, and you didn't tell anybody about it. But it's not uncommon for somebody else to have the same idea. Okay? So that may explain away why there were assassins prior. So it could be that we're in a time period before Bayek and Aya were known, obviously, and there was somebody who had to perform an assassination, and maybe this is the story of the hidden blade and how the hidden blade got into Aya's hands. No pun intended. But, it would explain a little bit of history of certain things. All right, like I'm saying, the hidden blade, it would give us a little insight as to who Darius was. Now, historically, Darius was actually Xerxes' father, and obviously not his murderer. But according to the game, you know, that's what they went with. According to the history, that's what they went with. We may find that they change it. Maybe this guy's got a different name. Maybe he is the bodyguard, Artanibus, and maybe he does end up killing Xerxes and then takes the name Darius, just like Aya took the name Amunet. You know, I don't know why they would continue that kind of tradition, but I mean, maybe, you know, it's something that they could actually use as an explanation. Okay, there are a lot of different debates going on as to like the timeline and the history since we got Odyssey, and you know, since we're finding all these other things out, like Odyssey taking place in the past. But historically, it would make more sense that it's not 100 years in the past, that it is a little over 400 years in the past, because I mean, just with everything going on in history, that's the time frame that we had. When I looked at you know, just things in history, looking at everything that went on 100 years past 49 BC, which is like the events of Origins, didn't make sense. Like there was nothing actually going on during that time. So, you know, it would have made more sense to go in the past, and not just in the past, into the deep past, obviously, or not too deep, but a little over 400 years. So that's my thought on it. What do you think? Do you think I'm wrong? I mean, I could be wrong. You know, it's not unusual for me to be wrong. You know, if you have a solid argument, if you have facts and stuff like that, and you know, throw it out there. Let me know what you think. You know, maybe it has nothing to do with it. I know that we're seeing a lot of you know, like Spartan influence. It looks like, you know, Spartan armor and Greek armor. So maybe, you know, we're going to see a lot of what went on with 300, you know? What do you think about this, though? Let me know in the comments below. Do you think that we're going to see Darius? Do you think that we're going to see Xerxes? What do you think the gameplay is going to be like? What do you think the game is going to be about? Let me know what you think. I hope you enjoyed this video. Please like and subscribe. It helps the channel out a lot. Like I said, throw out your thoughts out there, you know, and give me solid thoughts. Don't give me, you know, like, hey, this video's stupid and, you know, your mom's like 900 pounds. You know, I know very well about, you know, Mama Strider and her vices. I don't need to hear, you know, negative nonsense like that. I know that Thanos had to snap twice in order to, you know, make her disappear. Spoilers again if you haven't seen Infinity War. But, you know, let's just have some positive debate, all right? Let me know in the comments below. As always, thank you for watching.